Thinking Fast and Slow is a fascinating exploration by Daniel Kahneman into the two systems that drive our thought processes: System 1, which is intuitive and quick, and System 2, which is logical and deliberate. The book delves into how these systems operate, sometimes concurrently, to shape our judgments and decision-making. The key themes revolve around cognitive biases and heuristics that often lead to errors in judgments and decisions. For example, the availability heuristic refers to our inclination to make decisions based on information that's readily available to us, disregarding relevant facts that aren't as easily accessible. Overconfidence bias describes how we often overestimate our predictive abilities and underestimate the role of chance in outcomes. Kahneman, a Nobel laureate in economics, seamlessly translates complex psychological phenomena into understandable real-life examples. The book not only encourages readers to recognize these biases in their own thought processes but also provides strategies to mitigate their effects. As part of essential reading, this book serves as a compelling insight into human reasoning and irrationality. It allows you to comprehend why we make certain decisions and to become more conscious of the susceptibility of our mind to biases, thus fostering more rational and effective decision-making. Thinking Fast and Slow is a critically acclaimed book written by Daniel Kahneman, who was awarded the Nobel Prize in Economics. This book elucidates the psychological and cognitive biases that help shape our decisions, discussing two systems of thought: System 1, which is intuitive and quick, and System 2, which is deliberate and slow. One of the central lessons from the book is realizing how our biases and intuitive reactions often lead us to false conclusions. For instance, Kahneman explains the availability bias, which illustrates how the frequency and emotional intensity of our experiences can dramatically impact our subjective judgment. A classic example of this bias is people overestimating their likelihood of experiencing a dramatic event such as a plane crash because such events are often highly publicized. The book introduces us to the concept of framing. Kahneman shows that the way a certain choice is framed significantly impacts our decision. For instance, people are more likely to opt for surgery if told it has a 90% survival rate than if they know it has a 10% mortality rate. The information is the same, but the framing changes the decision. We learn about the overconfidence bias, where individuals over-rely on their judgment. Kahneman presents the case of entrepreneurs who, despite statistical evidence showing high failure rates in startups, believe they will be amongst the successful few. By dissecting conventional thinking, Thinking Fast and Slow highlights how often we make irrational and misguided decisions, unknowingly led by cognitive bias. It lays bare the pitfalls of failing to acknowledge these biases and their potential to lead us astray from objective decision-making. To encourage personal growth and development, the book suggests ways to overcome these biases. It encourages us to modify our decision-making process by acknowledging that our intuition or gut feeling may be a cognitive bias. We should analyze our first response through systematic and logical reasoning before making a final decision. By adopting a more reflective and thoughtful approach to decision-making, the book argues that we can reduce perceptual distortions and improve our judgment. Kahneman encourages critical thinking, advising we constantly question and scrutinize our instincts to ensure we aren't falling prey to illusory correlation or confirmation bias. A practical application of Kahneman's lessons could be in investment decisions. People may succumb to the hot hand fallacy, thinking a successful person or company will continue to be successful because they have been in the past. By acknowledging this fallacy, one might avoid making inadequate investment decisions. Another real-life application could be regarding recruitment processes. Interviewers often form snap judgments about candidates within the first few minutes. Understanding this bias, employers can structure interviews better to ensure a fair and comprehensive evaluation of candidates. Thinking Fast and Slow is not merely a book about cognitive biases and decision-making, it is a manual on self-improvement. The book's essence is that a deeper understanding of our behavior allows us to make better, more objective decisions and ultimately lead better lives. By acknowledging and understanding our inherent cognitive biases, we can actively make decisions that are more informed and rational. In Thinking Fast and Slow, Daniel Kahneman reveals the profound impact of cognitive biases on our decision-making process. The book underscores the existence of two cognitive systems in our minds: System 1, which is fast and intuitive, and System 2, which is slower and more deliberate. Kahneman's insights imply that while our quick, intuitive thoughts, System 1, often guide our decisions, we should not underestimate the importance of taking time for reflective, critical thinking, System 2, in reducing cognitive biases. Applying these insights in daily life means being mindful of our initial reactions and taking the time to evaluate decisions carefully, weighing all options before jumping to conclusions. Remember, quick does not always mean right. Practice mindfulness and pause to question your instant decisions. This can lead to better outcomes personally, professionally, and even socially. Lastly, we would love to hear your thoughts in the comments section. If you've found these insights impactful, do like this video and consider subscribing for more content like this. Remember, your knowledge grows when you share, so don't hesitate to share this content with others. Let's learn and grow together.